This is your unboxing experience. And done. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dave Dillon from Chase the Summit, and today we're going to talk about the Coros Pod. If you own a Coros Pace, Apex, Apex Pro, or VERTIX, this pod will work with all of those. Let me stop right here and say that only the most hardcore runners will care about what this thing does, with the exception of one feature. I'll get into that in a little bit. Basically, the only contents of the box is the little pod itself. It's a little black device and it's got a little clip on the back that goes on the back of your shorts. When you first take this thing out of the box, you need to peel the little rubber casing off of it and actually insert the battery, which is included. The process of inserting the battery actually took me a second. It's sad to say I work in the mechanical engineering world and I still took a little while to figure out how to get this thing apart. Kind of just pop out. There it is. That was easy. So on the back of the device, once you get out of the rubber sleeve, there's a little battery door. You twist to unlock it, insert the battery, put it back together, and it'll start working right away. Something important to note is when you insert the device back into the rubber sleeve, the C in the word Coros needs to be aiming to the top of the clip. That's right, I read the instructions. So once you've got it all back together, you just need to pair it with your watch, and I'll show you how to do that now. Pairing the Coros Pod with your watch is pretty simple. All you've got to do is navigate to your settings, go down to Sensors, and click Add. From there, you pick up the Coros Pod and shake it around a little bit until the red light flashes. That indicates that it's turned on. And from there, your watch should automatically pick it up and sync with it. This is a one-time deal. After you've added it once, you don't have to do it again. The Coros Pod works with all of your running activities. That includes run, treadmill running, trail running, and also track running, the new feature they added a few firmware updates ago. But it's important to note that you don't get the full functionality of the Coros Pod unless you use it for road running, which I thought was a little odd. The Coros Pod features 1 year of battery life. That assumes you're running 2 hours a day, every day. So for most people, this would probably last even more than a year. The device weighs 19 grams, and when it's clipped to the back of my shorts, I can't even tell it's there, to be honest. One thing though, is I find myself continually reaching around the back of my shorts to make sure it's still there and didn't fall off. The clip is really durable, but it is kind of concerning that I can't see it or feel it. The Coros Pod features 1 atmosphere of water resistance. That means it can take sweat and gentle splashes, but nothing serious. You don't want to get this thing too wet. And the Coros Pod features Bluetooth and AM+ connectivity. Important thing to note though is it will not pair with a Garmin device. I already tried it with my Fenix 6, and the Fenix 6 simply just doesn't see it. I thought this was kind of odd. I thought they would be cross-compatible since AM+ is like an open platform. But there is something, and I'm guessing that it's in the firmware of the Fenix 6 to ignore this sensor. I've noticed also on the Coros devices that they don't see the Garmin sensors. So they're doing something clever there to keep you buying the product that has their brand name on it. So after all this, what does the Coros Pod do for you? Well, it gives you a handful of metrics that your watch wouldn't give you otherwise. And only the most hardcore of runners are really going to care about these. These metrics include ground contact time, cadence, stride length, left and right balance, stride height, stride ratio, run efficiency, and run power. Run power has been becoming more popular in the past year or so as more sensors start to pick it up. But I think the most important feature to me has been the increased accuracy when running on the treadmill. That might be understated. I've always had issues calibrating my watches on the treadmill. It doesn't matter what brand or what model it is, like Polar, Garmin, Suunto, Coros, they're all pretty off, even if you calibrate them regularly. But I found that with using the Coros Pod, the accuracy went way up. After a 10-mile run using the Coros Pod, I'm within like 0.05 of the actual distance readout on the treadmill, which is pretty amazing. And I think for that alone, I would buy this. I mean, I don't get really into the nitty-gritty of my training, but next year I've got a lot of races coming up, so I'm gonna try to take it a little bit more seriously and use some of these metrics. The Coros Pod costs $69.99 from Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description down below if you're interested in it. I found this price point kind of interesting because the Garmin Pod costs $69.99. And typically, Coros tries to undercut Garmin's prices to get more people in the door. This time around though, they're going for the same price point in the same market. And I think that's a realization that Coros is starting to gain a little bit more traction, a lot more people are wearing them. I personally see a lot of them at ultra marathons. People are really starting to adopt the platform. And I think it's mainly because of the price point and the battery life. I'm personally wearing the Coros Apex Pro and it's an awesome watch. If you haven't seen my review on that yet, go check it out up here. So at the end of the day, the Coros Pod is an interesting addition addition to the Coros lineup. It definitely has its uses, and for me, I think the increased treadmill accuracy is the biggest feature that I'm interested in. I've been using this on all of my runs, doesn't matter if I'm on the trail or on the road. It's so small and compact and you really don't know it's there. There's no fiddliness to it. It automatically pairs with the watch when you need it. All you gotta do is clip it to your shorts and start running, and you're good to go. So if you want some additional metrics for your running activities on your Coros device, the Coros Pod is a great option. If you're a hardcore runner and you really want to see your stride ratio and ground contact time, this is a good option. And this is a good option if you run on the treadmill a lot like me and you just want increased accuracy. So this is just a quick look at the Coros Pod and what it offers and why you'd buy it. If you're interested in picking up a Coros Pod, go check out the link in the description for the best pricing available right now. That's all I've got for today. I've got some more exciting reviews and exciting content coming up about the races I have coming up next year. So definitely subscribe down below and give me a thumbs up if you thought this was a helpful video, and I'll see you in the next one.